be so serious about everything. I mean, I know it's serious that we're dealing with, but we need some kind of levity. Perhaps not to the extent of that famous phrase of, "Why so serious?" from the Joker in one of the Batman films. But still, we need some element of levity just to stay sane. When tragedy is everywhere, we do need some kind of release, some kind of comedy, in fact. There's that also a famous phrase about laughter is the best medicine. Even if it's only black humour, dealing with the irony or the absurdity of it all, it's still a form of humour. It takes the edge off the desperate seriousness. But it's also important perhaps here to look at comedy being much more than just laughter. In the original sense, tragedy is just an unhappy ending. It's a form of play, or a form of a story that doesn't have a successful outcome. Whereas comedy is simply one that has a successful outcome. That's it. So notice how laughter helps us reach a successful outcome. If we over-focus too much on the seriousness of it all, we will get it wrong. And it also tends to drive us into some dangerous places. If we over-focus on, for example, blame or self-guilt, then we will soon run into a situation where we learn nothing. One of the characteristics of the after-action review is that one of its primary rules is no blame. Because if there is blame, if there is propping self up by putting other down, offloading, saying I should have, the demand to go back into the past, which we can't do, all of those stop any ability to learn from the situation that we're in. And that's a really important problem if everything is fast changing and we can't tell what to do. So another one too that I found particularly in areas like enterprise architecture is the importance of playfulness. I've used a toy theatre to illustrate service design and for people to experiment with a kind of checklist for the things that are easily missed. Another one I've used quite often is a toy train to illustrate service design issues, like what happens when services collide, what happens when services clash with other services, when they have to intersect with other services, when they pass by other services, like on an equivalent of a bridge over a road on a railway. So where they intersect, they don't actually connect with each other, but still have to pass by each other. Playfulness helps us find the issues that sit in those spaces. So one of the things that enterprise architects can do very usefully in this time of wild change is to architect for comedy. How do we architect for acknowledging even the smallest of happy endings? Saying, hey, yes, we got one, we succeeded with one of them actually worked. That can be the thing that lifts people up. In high stress environments, everyone needs to have some tiny break. If everything is always the stress, if everything is always the overload, people are going to crack. So we need to architect in those moments of safety, those moments of recovery, those moments for learning. Why be so serious? We need the comedy as well to make it all work.